I'd like to share a little bit
about my experience in the first few years of learning a lot about YouTube and developing the channel, and maybe give you guys a little bit of insight into how exactly I run the channel, maybe a bit of behind the scenes too. But let's have a little bit of fun today, and hopefully you'll enjoy the video. Good morning, everybody. My name's Chad, and welcome to the Hidden Spring Farm. Every YouTube creator aspires to be successful, and how success is measured depends on each individual's definition of what success is. And sometimes it morphs itself into something a little bit different than what you originally had planned. Now take me, for example. Back in July of 2020, I started this YouTube channel, so we're 4.5 years into it now, and I really started the channel to talk and promote about our farm stay business that we've been developing here at the farm, where we rent out this 100-year-old farmhouse, offer guests a nice farm experience stay, and see if I can somehow build up some kind of a complement of viewers who would be interested in coming to stay at this farm stay. And the honest truth is that you never really know what kind of success you could have. I mean, you work hard in trying to create good stories for the internet for people to enjoy. You want to try to build a community of people who want to watch your channel dedicatedly, and you don't really know if you're going to be successful or not. So our channel kind of morphs into what it is today, which is basically a showcase of small farm life here in Canada. The Hidden Spring Farm is 90 acres, and it basically consists of a whole slew of different animals. We've done a whole bunch of building on the channel. We've basically built like this Chateau du Palais chicken house, and we've built the ducky bunkie and the rabbitat and the bunny barn and the goose caboose and the security goose booth and the turkey tower, and I've actually built a workshop for myself. And last year I built this massive sawmill shelter to cover the sawmill, because another part of small farm life is managing your forest. We have 15 acres of forest here at the farm, and it does need to get managed, and I'm obliged and happy to have that experience under my belt. And since I'm 4.5 years now showing this ugly mug all over the internet on YouTube, I'd like to have a little bit of a open discussion with a lot of our viewers, so feel free to comment whatever you feel you want to comment. So I wanted to touch on a little bit today on how us creators typically make some money while we're doing all this hard work making YouTube videos, and also a little bit of behind the scenes info going through a tiny bit of the YouTube analytics, which you folks normally don't get to see. That's actually a good segue to talk about how I've learned over these 4.5 years doing YouTube here that YouTube somewhat takes over your life. And I'm talking specifically how many hours a creator would devote to actual YouTube work, which includes filming, editing, maybe answering comments. And to be frank, me personally, I do that every day. Every single day of the week, I'm always looking at YouTube. I always got my phone. I'm always looking at the analytics. I'm always answering comments. I try my best. But I'm not really like a huge creator. I can't imagine if I have like thousands and thousands of comments every day. So I'm not there yet, so I'm still able to reply back to some of the comments. But what about things like going on vacation? And on top of that, we have a farm. So we need to have somebody who's going to watch the farm while we're away. And you got to have videos. Consistency is very important when you're building a YouTube channel. You can't just simply put out a few videos and then disappear for a few weeks, and then put out a few videos and disappear for a month and put out one video and then next week put out another video. You can't really like do that with YouTube. You have to be consistent, or at least it's the best idea to be consistent. And we've done videos on Mondays and Thursdays for 4 years now, and I've sometimes thrown in a Saturday video whenever I have either extra content or I just want to try to get my watch hours to get monetized. I did that a lot in the early days. At that point, I was trying to reach my 4,000 watch hours so that you can actually get monetized. They've changed it since, but on that time, a few years ago, you needed 4,000 watch hours and you needed 1,000 subscribers. So the hardest thing I found to get was the 4,000 watch hours. You put out, 15-minute videos and you have some people watching in the beginning. We had, 50 people, 120 people, 300 people watching. And I mean, it takes a long time before you get 4,000 watch hours, and you have to do that within a 1-year period, and then you can get monetized. So the Hidden Spring Farm channel was actually monetized in 8 months. And I find the main reason that we got monetized after 8 months only was just because I was doing a little bit longer videos. I didn't have 8-minute videos or 12-minute videos. I always seem to have like 15 minutes, 20 minutes, 25 minutes. And I mean, even now, sometimes I have a 1-hour video. How I got monetized in 8 months anyhow. So yeah, YouTube does affect your family time. It affects your personal time. You don't really have any downtime. And because we're on a farm and we have that kind of farmstead, homestead type content, it's just you're also doing all the farm work on top of that. And I'm not complaining about it. I don't want to come across as I'm not happy about it, because it's my choice to do it. But that's just, you know, a quick explanation for you guys that what typically happens when you're running a channel. It's basically a 7-day-a-week thing. Anything that you want to do on the farm while you're filming videos, it takes you at least twice as long to do. So if this structure should have taken me 4 months to build by myself, it took me half a year to build in filming it all, you know what I mean? If you think about what I just talked about, how YouTube kind of takes over your life and it becomes a focus, and you might be trying to work a job or some kind of work to earn a living, and then you're doing YouTube on the side, and any creator can talk about this because it really takes over your life. That's just the reality of it. You're always doing something to do with YouTube. But I think it's important to have a passion or, you know, some kind of drive to want to create videos. You shouldn't just do it for the sake of doing it or because you want to see if you can make some money. I think making money off of YouTube and being successful is an ultimate goal, but it shouldn't be your starting goal. In my opinion, you have to want to make videos. You have to feel creative inside to want to tell some kind of a story. And we have the benefit of getting this farm in 2020, so that's why I started the channel. And it was a creative outlet for me. As I continue to build up the farm, I'm also creating content. For me personally, one of the things that helps me to keep going and keep creating and keep innovating are the gadgets, the filming, and the different aspects about filming, the editing, and you know, it's like, oh, it's just a very rewarding feeling when you go through that process and then you got a video out there and it does really well. And there's a rewarding feeling that comes from that, and I really like that. But that also goes both ways, you know what I mean? Because there are videos out there that are complete failures and don't do well at all, and maybe there's somewhat of a level of disappointment that you just, oh, I didn't get that one done right. But I think it's all like a learning process for any creator that goes through. And you know, I have like 900 videos now over the 4.5 years. And if you look at my first, I don't know, 200 videos, the 200 videos in the beginning are way, way, way different than the videos I'm producing today. I feel like I am so confident in front of the camera. I can talk to you guys. I can figure out how I want to edit certain shots. And, you know, that's a build-up in confidence over the years in becoming a creator. And that's the thing I think every creator has to go through. Nobody is amazing, incredible on day one. And continuing on, talking a bit about how you need to have a passion for creating, I also look at it from 2 points of view. One, what kind of content do the viewers want to watch? Like, what content is working for me, you know? But also, the second is, what kind of content do I want to make? And I'll give you an example. Barn cats are a huge part of our channel, and I have dozens of very, very successful cat-focused videos. But cat-focused videos are not for everybody, and cats don't only showcase small farm life. There's all sorts of other aspects. Lots of people like when I work in the forest and harvest a tree and bring it back to the sawmill and cut the log into lumber and things like that. So maybe those people don't necessarily want to watch the cats. Maybe some people want to watch both, but not too much. So that's a perfect example of, you know, content that I want to create versus content that people expect from my channel. That's just an example of what keeps me creative by doing a combination of things that I like. And I love the animals. I love doing it. I love showcasing the animals. I love having that close-knit relationship with the animals. But I also really enjoy just being outside. And being outside is like a huge deal here on the farm, right? There's so much to do outside. You know, there's lots of equipment that's a lot of fun. There's forestry that's a lot of fun. There's planting and gardening and all sorts of stuff that happens and needs to be done on a farm that you can showcase. And then we have the Canadian aspect of things, which is even more very specific. Like, for example, look at the snow that we got this year. Fozzie's trying to make his way through the roadway. He's not going to climb over here, but this is something that is specific to a cold climate like Canada. I know there's other areas that have a cold climate too, but there's lots of you viewers out there that never experienced snow before. So maybe it gives you that different aspect because we are here in the Canadian wilderness, you know? So speaking about the outdoor stuff versus the farm stuff, I did have an idea to create a second channel. And I thought long and hard about it. I thought about a channel name. I thought about how I would run it, how often I would have a video, and what the content would be. And I already have a lot of existing content to do with chainsawing and firewood and sawmilling and building things and forestry and those kind of outdoorsy type things, showcasing the tractor and the different implements on the tractor. There's a lot of YouTube channels that just do that. That's it. And they are successful too. But I fought against it just because I don't think that I can handle it. And I just mean, like I said earlier, YouTube kind of takes over your life. If I want to continue doing 2 videos a week showcasing the small farm life here in Canada, how could I add a 3rd video into the mix on a regular basis without ever disappointing people by not having a video? I definitely don't want to be one of those creators that has to put a notice out on their community tab telling people, I'm sorry guys, I don't have a video today. Trying to be successful on YouTube is really tough, I can tell you from experience. There's a lot of ups and downs. There's a lot of grinding it out. There's a lot of joy, but there's also a lot of disappointment. And, you know, there's some things that I've learned along the way to do while I'm editing the videos to try to make yourself a bit more successful. One of them being retention editing. Have you heard of this? Retention editing, where you edit in such a way that it's very choppy and you change shots like every 2 or 3 seconds. So it's always giving something fed to the viewer, you know, different, so that they're not just like me standing here right now talking to you guys for 5 minutes. That might get a little boring. But if you change up the shots quickly as there's a narration going over, that might make it a bit better for the viewer experience. And of course, there's the thumbnails and the titles. Those are always the most important, I guess, to get people attracted to click on your video. And yes, you have to be consistent. And another thing I've learned is that you got to have thick skin doing YouTube. You know what I mean? You got to have real thick skin, because you get an awful lot of comments. You get a lot of negative comments, while at the same time you get an awful lot of positive comments. You get a lot of bashers and haters. So really, if you don't build up a tolerance to those haters, I think you're going to really have a hard time. So I find it important not to get over emotional about things. It's so easy for viewers to put comments that can get taken out of context because, you know, you can't hear people's tone of voice. Sometimes it's very vague. And I mean, you got to take it with a grain of salt. And I've occasionally gotten annoyed at some viewers at some of the things they say. But for the most part, it's pretty good. I think I've developed mostly a thick skin. My darling wife calms me down sometimes when there's really someone being belligerent, and I've learned to have enough confidence to block people from the comments and remove comments and things like that, because some people do get belligerent and nasty and there's no need for it. It's just a wholesome, family-oriented content that's showcasing small farm life, you know, and maybe I'm doing some things as a creator, as a farmer, that people don't agree with, but there's no reason to hate. But people will hate. So if someone is really interested in becoming a creator and you don't have that thick skin, I think you're going to have a hard time. But definitely overall, you know, 99% of the comments are really, really good comments. And it's really important for you guys to comment too, eh? And I know the majority of the people don't bother, But when a channel is trying to grow, we need comments. We need everybody to like the video, because that tells the YouTube algorithm, boom, there's a lot of people interested in this video, so let's push out this guy's video to the world. People don't go viral every single video, so YouTube, therefore, is not pushing every single video. But it is important to help a channel grow from the viewer's perspective. If the viewer is enjoying the content, then you should take that step to like the video. And while we're on that subject of liking the video, let's switch over and talk about how exactly creators make money with their content. Now, it's somewhat complicated how creators do make money, but a simplification, I guess, would be that every time a viewer watches an ad, we make money. And if you actually do the mathematics about it all, I think it works out to something like 1/10 of a cent every time somebody watches an ad. So you need 10 ad watches just to make 1 cent. And of course, how people make big money is because they have tens of thousands and millions of views, right? Those little cents add up into like a good amount of money. And I think it's even a little bit more complicated than that. I think there's some guidelines that if the ad itself is like 30 seconds or up to 30 seconds, then the viewer needs to watch the whole ad from start to finish. And if you click on the ad, of course, you get a little bonus points too. But if the ad is one of those really long 8-minute ads, then I really think there's no expectation to watch that kind of an ad. And I think that's really ridiculous that YouTube even has those ads. But you have to then watch at least 30 seconds of those longer ads, and then you can skip it. Just keep in mind that the creator is somewhat relying on you viewers not to skip the ads, because that's how the creator's making money. And I know that there's ad-free programs, and I know that there are some people that just don't have time. It's probably still better to just have the right amount of viewers versus viewers that are watching the ads. And I mean, every creator goes through that, I guess. I mean, if you have 1 million subscribers, you're not getting 1 million views on all your videos, right? Because there are some farm channels that do have 1 million or 800 or 900 or 500. They don't get 500,000 views on every video. They might get, 40, 50, 60, 70,000 views. So that's what, 5% of their subscriber base that's watching regularly? I think that's really the hardest, most difficult aspect of building a channel, and that's getting regular, consistent viewers. Anybody can get lucky and just go viral on a video and get a bunch of subscribers, but you have to build up a community of people who want to watch every video. And I do think I'm well on my way to building that, right? If I put out a video now, this video today, if I watch it, over the first few days, I'll probably get 10, 12,000 views. And that's with 190,000 subs. So once you get yourself up to 300,000 subs, maybe whenever you put out a video, you might get 30, 40,000 views. Once you get up to 600 subs, you might get 50, 60,000 views. So you see how that works. It's just a smaller percentage of your subscriber base that's actually watching every single video. And in the YouTube analytics, there's something called average view duration. And that basically tells you the average length that people are watching. And we'll go through that a little bit later. But for me and my channel, Hidden Spring Farm, I think it's somewhere in between 38 and 45% of average views. So that really tells you that people are not watching the entire video from start to finish. There is a lot of people who watch it, but then there's a lot of people that watch 2 minutes, and it just brings the average down. And that's normal. That's not neither here nor there. That's normal. Every creator has that. But I think every creator is striving to get to that 50% mark. There's a lot of other ways that creators make money too. Like, take a look at this. This is the Hidden Spring Farm toque, one of them anyways. Selling merchandise is another way that creators do make some money on the side besides their ad watches on their channel. And there's a few companies that are affiliated with YouTube that allows you to connect your online store to your YouTube channel. Creators change that relationship all the time. They're changing which companies they want to work with, but I just started doing some merchandise last year, and I work with Fourth Wall. Fourth Wall is the company that actually is organizing all the production of the products, really. We have t-shirts, and now we have hats, and there's all sorts of products. Most people like the t-shirts. That's the fun thing. You can hire somebody to make your designs. I've decided to do my own designs, so that's where I'm at with that. But I'll just give an example about how a creator makes money from merchandise. Click on a product, buy the product, but now that product needs to be manufactured, right? And it needs to have whatever design printed on it. So as an example, in Canada, I think this hat here is like 30 bucks. So every time somebody in Canada buys this hat from the Hidden Spring Farm through Fourth Wall, I earn $8. So $30, I guess the majority of the cost is the production, like the manufacturing, which is not done by Fourth Wall. It's done by probably some company in China. And then they're just printing on demand. This is what they call this thing, print on demand. And so you order one and you can print it. And there's more expensive to do it that way if you think about it, right? You're not ordering 20,000 pieces of the same hat, which would make your cost cheaper. But that's definitely a great way for viewers to support their favorite channels and to financially support their favorite channels, which is important to help the channel to continue make great content. Every creator would have an AdSense account. This is set up through Google because YouTube is owned by Google, so you're technically getting paid from Google. And it's paid out on the 21st of every month, and it's based on the previous 28 days. That's how they do their analytics. So you don't want to have too many ads on your videos, but you also don't want to have no ads, because you want to be able to make some kind of money to at least pay for your time. And yes, creator income from YouTube or from Fourth Wall with merchandise or from the super thanks that you guys give tips to me, right? And any other creator that you're giving tips to, we have to pay income taxes on all that stuff. You can't get away from income taxes. That's just a way of life. So that adds on to your tax amount owing to Mr. Government. And here in Canada, specifically, we also have something called the HST, which is the Harmonized Sales Tax. And I'm not happy about it at all, but I've done some digging. I'm not there yet that I'm making that kind of money, but I'm hoping I will be there one day. If you make in Canada more than $30,000 income from influencing, this is how they've worded it, then you have to pay HST. Now, HST here in Canada is just a sales tax, right? I'm sure other countries around the world have sales tax. But here in Ontario, Canada specifically, it's 13%. I mean, that does kind of suck. For Canadians anyway, I really don't know how they do it in the United States or anywhere else around the world, but for Canadians specifically, if you're working your butt off trying to make a successful channel and you get yourself up, just for simple mathematics, let's just say you're making $100,000 a year, right? So you then have to pay the government $13,000 because that's the 13%. And it's sales tax. I don't even know what product are we selling. But, the Canadian government has wiggled its way into the influencer world because, under their opinion, the influencers were getting away with not paying the HST. If you're like, I don't know, like a Loblaws grocery store or Canadian Tire hardware store, those people pay HST back to the government. But the difference is they collect it from their customers. So every time a customer cashes out with them, they have to save that 13% and then pay it back to the government. But I don't know, I'm not too thrilled about that aspect of it. I don't think that I should, as a creator, be figuring out to hold back 13% that I got to pay back the government just for nothing. I don't have like a sales tax. I just think the whole thing's crazy. I really don't know how they do it in the US. If there are any creators watching and you want to comment, let me know how they do that aspect. But basically in Canada, if you're a creator making more than 30 grand a year, you're going to be paying income tax on the total amount, and you're going to be paying your 13% HST. And of course, that has a lot to do with whether you're operating as a business or as a sole proprietorship. And there's, somewhat complicated in that, but I guess I'm looking into the future and hopeful that my channel will continue to be successful, and then I'll get myself that you're earning that kind of money, and then you'll have to change your positioning to operate as a business because you just have to. That's beneficial for your taxes, you know. So lots of things to think about in that regard when you start earning money versus how much you got to pay back to Mr. Government. Then there's sponsorship deals, and I touched on this a couple videos ago. I'm at the stage right now in my YouTube channel creator career, that I don't really care to get involved with sponsorships, but I'm definitely not saying that I will never do sponsorships. For those who don't know, are something like, I don't know, let's just say like a little generator. And there's a company that wants to give you a generator for free, and then they want you to talk about it, and there's guidelines about that, like you need to talk about it in an entire video, or you need to talk about it in a segment of your video. You probably need to somehow sell that to your viewers. So I don't know, I'm not ready to do that yet. I don't really want to ruin the relationship. I don't know, even if I did that, how many of you folks would actually buy the product, so then it might sour the relationship with the company because they're hiring me basically to showcase their product and sell. But if nobody buys anything, then that means I wasn't successful, and they may not want to work with me in the future. So I don't want to sour that part of it. But there's also the fact that I really would need to absolutely believe in a product in order for me to get to the point where I'm actually going to showcase it to my viewers. And that's just my ethics, you know. I'm definitely not going to just accept a product from a company just for the sake of getting some kind of a sponsorship deal. I don't know, it might be kind of cool, but I've just decided not to do those kind of things. I'm going to focus on making money through the viewers, you know, through ad watches, and trying my best to make amazing content. And it's not easy to do, to make amazing content regularly, amazing content. It's really hard to come up with stories and new stories and fresh stories and not get boring or stagnant. So I don't know, I've chosen to focus on that rather than trying to get sponsorship deals. But I'm definitely not saying that I never will. If the right opportunity comes around, the right money comes around, I'll be doing it, rest assured. There's also something called channel memberships. And to be honest, I don't really know too much about the channel membership thing. But just a basic understanding, I guess, that I have is that you can offer memberships to your viewers. They might pay a few bucks a month to be a member of your channel. I don't know who sets the amount of money. I don't know if I can choose the amount or if it's just a set amount through YouTube. I don't know if YouTube takes a cut of that money. I really don't know. I've chosen not to do it that way for now anyways, until I learn more about it. But basically, the idea is that maybe all of those members would have access to your videos before the grand public. So, you know, as a perk, they get to see the video before everybody else. Or maybe there's a little bit different content. Maybe there's a video that you have to the public that's 15 minutes, but to members it might be 25 minutes because there's a lot of bonus content in there. So trying to make it look like there's some real tangible benefits to being a member. And for now, I've just chosen not to go that route, probably for no other reason other than I don't really want to scare away viewers because I'm still really trying to build my channel, and because I don't really know too much about it. And please understand too, about me personally, is that prior to me starting a YouTube channel, I really had zero idea about YouTube. My wife and I were sitting in the Philippines. We were on vacation. It was right at the beginning of COVID. We had just closed the farm in January, and I'm sitting there watching Netflix in the Philippines, right? And I'm starting to look through YouTube, and that's where I got the idea to start a YouTube channel, because I knew we were going to be getting possession of our farm in July of that year. That was 2020. And that's how it started. So I basically started planning for the next few months on what I was going to do, how I was going to do it. I started watching all sorts of YouTube, trying to learn everything I could about it, because YouTube is like a science, right? It's like you need to go to school to learn how to do YouTube. That's how serious YouTube is. Now back to the ad watching for a second. Please don't feel any pressure. I'm really not trying to make this video to pressurize any of you folks out there to make sure you watch the ads. You gotta watch the ads. Don't skip the ads. You know, I'm informing you guys that this is how it works. There are a lot of people, I would much rather have the views versus no views, because the views is what tells the algorithm to promote the video and push it out there. If you don't have the views, then ad watches are useless. But I'm not looking to keep my channel stagnant. I want my channel to grow, therefore I want the views. I want people to be able to watch the majority of the video. Those are kind of the things that I'm working towards, you know, because that really tells the algorithm that people love the video. Then there's long form videos versus short videos. Short videos used to be 60 seconds. Now they can be up to 3 minutes. And longer videos can really be any length. The way that works, I think if your video is 4 minutes or less, you can't have ads in between the videos, something like that. I think it has to be longer than 8 minutes in order for you to have ads in between. So the general consensus is that you need to have at least longer than 8-minute videos. And the way the ads work is you get ads at the beginning, then you get ads in the middle, and then you have ads at the end when the video's finished. Now I can tell you from my experience, when I upload a video and then YouTube automatically places the ads, let's say the video itself is 25 minutes. YouTube probably has about 8 or 10 ads in between the video. And I usually go in and I edit that because I don't want that many ads, because I don't want to scare the viewers away. That's too many ads. That's like an ad every 3 minutes. I think that's too much. So the general guideline that I like to use is an ad every 5 or 6 minutes. And if it's like, you know, a 12-minute ad, I'll only have 1 ad in the middle of the video. If it's a 20-minute video, I might have 3 ads in the middle of the video. If it's like a 40-minute ad, I might have 5 or 6 ads in the middle of the video. The longer the video, the more potential there is to earn better money and get better watch time, because that's just how it is. If you longer video, more people are going to watch longer minutes, and there's more ads, you're going to make more money. Let's jump over now to a little bit of behind the scenes on the computer in my office at home here and talk a bit about the YouTube analytics. And I'm going to use a sample video to show you all of the information that YouTube is giving us after we put out a video to judge the video's success. That's what the YouTube analytics are all about. This is my little office setup that I have. It's in our basement. I just have like a desk and my computer's all set up here, and I have speakers and whatnot. There's a big microphone that I have when I'm doing voiceovers. And this is really where I spend so much of my time planning, scripting, editing, uploading, doing all that kind of stuff. I do it down here. This girl's always by my side, keeping me company. Right, Olive? Okay, I gotcha. Anyways, I always thought that the analytics portion of YouTube was very cool, because it's really not something that a lot of people talk about. There are a lot of channels on YouTube teaching you how to do YouTube. I mean, regular channels, could be any kind of genre, don't typically talk about this stuff. I'm just thinking it's slow, it's the winter, and it's really a good time to maybe showcase some of what we do behind the scenes, you know? So let's talk about the analytics for a bit. You guys would normally see this channel page, right? And you got all my videos here. You have shorts, you have playlists, you have all of our community posts down here. So we can actually go into the content tab here, and I can choose the videos, and then this basically has all of the videos in reverse order that we publish them. So for example, and I was going to use the Freddie Mercury story as an example because that video got a lot of views. So if I click on his video, it takes me to the main screen that has just the details, but I can click on this tab over here for the analytics. So we can see that since the video was published, which was back on February 13th,
Altogether, it has 25.7 thousand views. It has 3.7 thousand watch time. It's in hours. It has gained me 111 subscribers, and it has earned $189. And you can click on each one of these to show the little graph as it increases, right? So this little sharp increase right here is the first day. So the first day, that video earned $96. And then every day after that, it earns a little bit more, a little bit more, a little bit more, until it reaches $189. Now over this little section over here tells me in the last 48 hours, it saw 661 views, and it's basically telling me that most of the views came from browse features, which is just like people going on the internet. Suggested videos is an important one too, because that means YouTube is suggesting it to people. It's got a bunch of information down here about how viewers are finding the video. And then down here is some key moments. Like for example, it's a 27-minute video and the average view duration is 8 minutes. That basically gives a 30% average view duration. And I don't know how many of you guys have actually seen this before, but you know, it tells me exactly how viewers are finding the video. It tells me there's 360,000 impressions, which means YouTube is showing it 360,000 times. So it's got a 5% click-through rate, which means, you know, people are actually clicking on the video 5% of the time. If we go down to audience, the audience actually tells me where the viewers are coming from, what they're watching. So for example, 54% of our viewers on this video is watching on the TV. 21% is watching on their phone, 15% on their computer, 8% on the tablet. So that's always an interesting thing to watch for too. And 52% was not subscribed watching this video, which is good because you want non-subscribers to watch also, and they can decide if they want to subscribe or not. So this particular video had 56% male viewers, 44% female viewers, and the geographies are 45% from the United States, 6% Canada, the UK 3.7, India 3.1, Germany, and you can actually click on that to really see where all the countries are from, right? Brazil, Australia, Philippines, Mexico, Italy, Spain, like the list goes on. It's pretty cool to see all these views coming from all around the world. And it even tells me the age of all the viewers. So for example, the highest view is 65 plus years, right? People older than 65 years was a high percentage. It's very interesting that 25% of our viewers are older than 65. 20% of the viewers are in between 55 and 64. 15% is 45 to 50, 15% is 35 to 40, 16% is 25 to 34. And then with the younger demographic, we're not doing too well. It's 7%. And then really with the younger people, we don't have anybody. Now, mind you, this is only based on the information that people have given YouTube in their account. So it's not an exact science. If we're talking about the revenues, which was the full $189, we didn't get any tips. We didn't get any super thanks on this particular video, though. We do on other videos. But you can see on this particular video, for every 1,000 views, it's $7. Based on the 25,000 views, right? You look at how much money a video makes, just looking at it in tunnel vision from that one video only, it's really not a lot of money. You know what I mean? Like that video is not even giving me $200. Mind you, some videos give me $250, $300. It depends on the tips that you get from the super thanks. But $200, I worked on it for really 8 hours. So if you break it down really by one video with tunnel vision, you work for 8 hours and you make less than $200, that's peanuts. You know what I mean? But how creators keep increasing their revenue, including me, is that there's lots of videos, right? I have 800 plus videos. Not all of them are getting views every day, but there are a lot that get views every day. One of the things creators like to do, and myself included, is create like evergreen type videos, okay? An evergreen video is like, as an example, I have a video and it's called How to Hatch Chicken Eggs in an Incubator, right? And the thumbnail says step-by-step chick hatching, and it's really good. It has a couple 100,000 views already, but that's over like a 3-year period. That's an old video, but the point is it's an evergreen video, right? Because it's a searchable title. Somebody can search how to hatch chicken eggs, and then that video will pop up. And I mean, arguably, that video could continue getting consistent views forever, like as long as YouTube is a thing, right? So it's an evergreen video. It's constantly going to get views. It's constantly going to bring in a little bit of money every month. Not big money unless it goes viral, but a little bit of money every month times 300 of your videos equals a good amount of money every month, right?
You know, some of the goals that I have for the Hidden Spring Farm channel have a lot to do with continuing to develop my storytelling skills and my filming skills and my editing skills, because I feel like those are so crucial. I really like to have a certain level of quality both with the video and the audio, and it's very difficult to do, mind you. I'm working on it. I'm trying to get better. I'm trying to get improved. I want to create cool videos. I want to continue building our farm. I want to continue building our farm stay business as well, all at the same time continuing to build up this YouTube channel and blow it up into something big. And I want to continue to build the Hidden Spring Farm community of viewers, and in the same time try to make my videos in such a way that I can increase the retention of you viewers and try to get over that 50% view duration barrier that I've been facing. But there's no way that my channel has plateaued at all. We still have loads and loads more content to be created. We still have so much more fun to have on the farm. And we're going to continue to do this and continue to grow and build upon all of our successes. I do appreciate you folks watching and listening, and I hope you enjoyed maybe learning a little bit about YouTube for those of you who are unaware, really. But I'm going to put it up on the screen right now as well. This is a video that I had done last year, basically showcasing and explaining how exactly I go about filming my videos. And for those who haven't seen it, it may be interesting to see the different aspects of the different tricks and techniques that we use to film ourselves while we're building up these videos, and you may enjoy it. I know a lot of you already have seen it, so I really do appreciate that in any case. So, I mean, do me a favor and hit that like button. And if you've watched the video and you like the video but you're not subscribed to the channel, you can go ahead and subscribe, and we'll continue to do what we do here at the farm. And thank you so much for all that you do, for all your support. I really do appreciate it, and I'm happy to have you guys as viewers, and I'm feeling very happy to be able to create this content. So you guys have a great day. Thanks for watching, okay?